Comparison is the thief of joy is a famous quote saying that we really should not be, constantly looking at others and comparing ourselves because it's often irrelevant. We need to focus internally. But in today's episode, we're actually going to flip the script on that because sometimes it's important to compare yourself and to understand how you're benchmarking, how you're doing versus industry standards. And in our industry, we are very, very low on data and statistics. And sometimes we just don't know what we don't know. We had the pleasure of polling salon owners and service providers at a recent beauty convention, and we're going to be spilling the beans on industry statistics around digital marketing that can help you benchmark where you are and learn how to grow. Welcome to the Salon Scoop, a podcast by Salon S.O.S. I'm your host, Scott Moon, the founder of Salon S.O.S., and I'm obsessed with helping salon professionals live their best life. In this show, we shop talk all things salon to bring you real-life stories, debates, entertainment, and inspiration to help you find happiness and success in this beautiful industry. If you work in the salon industry in any capacity, this podcast is open to you. So set down your scissors or rinse out that toner and let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Salon Scoop. With me as always is Sarah Perrin. Sarah, how are you doing today?
Oh, living the dream. How are you doing?
Living the dream. I am feeling the numbers today. Feeling the numbers. Way too often we talk about, ideas, strategies, tips, which is all important. But in our industry, we lack a lot of data, of like hard numbers. And I know even for ourselves, when we're looking at social media, we look at our insights, and we've done episodes to share with other salon professionals how to check their insights, which tells you like what you're doing with your content, what's performing better. But we never have a comparison with what other salons are doing, what other salon professionals are doing. And we often might feel like we're struggling with our social media, with our website, updates, with our Google, search engine, our loyalty programs, whatever the case may be. But how do we really know if we're doing good or bad compared to how the industry is doing? So as I mentioned in our brief little intro, we recently did an industry poll with salon owners and beauty professionals at a hair show, and have some data that we're going to be sharing with you in today's episode so that you can kind of get a sense of how you compare. And also we're going to provide some tips for how you can use this information to propel yourself forward and at the very least ahead of your competition. Sarah, as a salon owner, I mean, obviously you don't get a lot of data either because we don't have it in our industry, but how do you typically like to look at data and use it when you do have it available?
Well, this is funny because, again, when I was kind of putting this all together, I was like, ooh, like I probably am part of, the majority of not paying attention to, especially a lot of like the digital marketing efforts. Like we are really good about tracking numbers in terms of, budgeting and goal setting with our stylists and everything like that. We are really, really good about that and concentrating on percentages and numbers and growth and all of these things. But in terms of digital marketing efforts, I would say that that's something that we do kind of fall flat on because, like you said, it's there isn't like, cold hard facts and data that you can kind of look into or whatever. So this has definitely sparked some ideas with me and like how I can start to track these things more effectively, because it is kind of just a set it and forget it thing when it comes to social media and websites and e-commerce and everything like that. So yeah, it's definitely kind of fostered a little bit more awareness in me. And I think that I need to reevaluate my own digital marketing strategy.
Yeah, well, I don't know about you. I was quite surprised by a lot of the results that we got from this survey. So, why don't you start us off and share with our audience the findings around posting frequency on social media, primarily Instagram? How frequently people are posting?
Yeah, so this one surprised me too. And like, this will be my only flex is this is something I'm very good at with our own salon because I do all of our social media and everything, obviously. I post every single day. It doesn't matter. I schedule the entire month. And that is something that we are very consistent about. But it looked like most salon owners only are like 22% are posting daily and 32% are posting less than once per week. So that actually surprised me because, again, my biggest thing whenever I'm talking to people about posting frequency is it doesn't matter if you're posting, every single day or 3 times a week. The biggest thing is consistency because the algorithm favors consistency. So I would rather somebody post only like once or twice a week, but do that every single week as opposed to one week post a million times kind of thing and then they're off the grid for 3 months, right? So again, consistency is key. That doesn't mean every single post is going to be a slam dunk. It doesn't mean you're going to go viral with every single thing, but again, like I say, the algorithm favors consistency. So pick that benchmark of whether it's daily, 3 times a week, whatever it is that you can maintain, and that is the most important thing as opposed to, again, like the amount you're posting, it's that you're keeping up with that week to week, month to month.
Yeah. But 32% that were posting less than once per week, that's almost a third of the people that we surveyed. And that's definitely not enough.
No.
So even if you're a solopreneur, you should be posting, at the minimum once per week, if not, 2 to 3 times per week. You need to have that baseline of consistency. So that one really surprised me. And I guess, because we're used to, working with salons who have a bit of a focus on digital marketing. But if you, again, this is the average out there, so that means there's a lot of people out there. So if you are only posting twice a week, you're not far off, let's say, the average. And if you are posting consistently once a day or once every 2 days, you're definitely in the upper echelon out there. So that's a really great thing. And you should all flex and be happy with what you're doing. All right, I'm going to share some info that we got about paid advertising, right? People, salons that are spending money either on, Facebook, Instagram ads or Google ads. And what we found is that only 15% of salons had used Facebook, Instagram ads, and only 8% had used Google ads, which again was quite a bit lower than I had anticipated. And we've done quite a bit of work specifically with Google ads. I actually have a preference. If I was giving advice to salons, I would encourage them to lean towards Google ads before leaning towards Facebook, Instagram ads, because Google ads, it's people who are already specifically searching for something, right, that's related to you. Whereas Facebook, Instagram ad, you're just throwing it into the mix of their scroll and hoping that it like pops and that it like, garners, triggers, potential interest. But Google ads definitely has the potential to drive clients. And if only 8% are using them out there, that means that there's a big opportunity. And one thing that we've recognized by doing Google ads for a lot of, salon customers of ours is it's quite affordable because there's not a lot of competition. That actually makes it cheaper because the Google ads, you pay for each keyword and there's a cost to that for every time that they click. And really, really popular keywords cost more because there's many companies that are all essentially fighting for the same keywords. But in the beauty industry, there's very little competition. So it's actually a lot more affordable and definitely a great tool if you are considering paid advertising. We would recommend you consider that. We'd be happy to help guide you through that. So that's what we saw from paid ads. Sarah, talk to us a little bit about just let's say unpaid work on Google SEO, the organic kind.
For sure. This one doesn't surprise me because, like I say, even myself knowing how beneficial SEO is, it's not something that I do spend a lot of time paying attention to with my own salon. But it looks like only 18% of salon pros are investing in SEO. And again, for myself, I try to concentrate on really, inputting these keywords and phrases throughout the copy on my website and anything we're posting online. But yeah, you and I have had this conversation. I'm like, why aren't I taking advantage of, an SEO tool or something like that? Because like you say, it is something that not very many people in our market are taking advantage of. So if you are kind of one of the first people that gets into it, again, it's just going to help to, like, again, pop you to the top of Google searches. So this one, like I say, didn't surprise me because most salon professionals that I talk to, if I say SEO, they're like, SE what? Like nobody even knows what it is, right? So I would say that like this would definitely be a good thing for salon pros to hop on because 18% are, actually taking advantage of it. So be a pioneer, hop on it and get into it first.
Yeah, and my instinct would say that 5 years ago it would actually be a lot lower. I believe it's growing,
Yeah.
and we see uh, a lot more salons coming to us, asking us about this. So that tells me that more people are thinking about it, hearing about it, and therefore recognizing that it's probably important, and they want to learn more, and they want to do something about it. So we definitely get a lot more salons coming to us for support here, and the results that we see are incredible. Again, it's a little bit easier right now because there's less competition. So if you do, surpass the averages that we're sharing with you here, it's definitely a great step. So I think that's a key message overall: is you don't have to be doing everything at 100%, because we're sharing with you that a lot of the averages, the numbers are pretty low. So um, you don't have to be perfect to be doing a lot better than everybody else, which is where, comparison in this particular case can help just kind of like boost your confidence in what you're doing, and where you can continue to grow. Another thing that we asked was how often salons update their website, because we see way too often old, stale websites that have clearly not been updated in a while because there's a promotion there that has an expiry date, of 6 months ago, 12 months ago, whatever the case may be. So what we found was that about 20% of salons who were polled update their website monthly. And that would definitely be our recommendation, is to make sure that you have a monthly update, whether it's you're updating your promotions, you are checking to make sure that, your pricing, your any changes in staffing is done. Those are some of the basics. But that still means that 80% of salons out there are not doing it monthly. And there were many responses that said they couldn't remember the last time that they had updated it. And that's certainly a challenge. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention. You have lots of changes going on in your business every single day. That, listening out there. Um, a lot of those things can be reflected on your website, because that's where you really showcase your business to the outside world. So keep that in mind. Make yourself a note, on a monthly basis. All the salons that we work with on their websites, we actually send you a reminder every month to, think about it. We give you a list of things to check over, so that you can tell us what needs to be updated. We make those updates for you. So get yourself a reminder to look at monthly updates for your website. What's next, Sarah?
Next, we're going to talk about e-commerce. And this is something I found during COVID, at least with like in my kind of local space, when we weren't able to actually be providing services. E-commerce was huge. We were doing all of our, selling online and everything like that. So I feel like with salons and a lot of, again, smaller businesses, this really took off during COVID when we were in shutdown. So of the people polled, it looks like 33% of salons have ventured into having an online store, but only 3% feel satisfied with the results. And again, I can attest to that because there have been, you have months where things are taking off and it's looking good. And then all of a sudden 3 months have gone past and you haven't made a single sale online. Most of this is due to like inadequate marketing and kind of promoting your website, right? So I think that is a problem that most salons face, is it's just kind of a set it and forget it. And it is something like you even said with the website, it needs to be updated frequently. So again, on a monthly basis, and again, advertising and linking, if you're making making an Instagram post, linking these products so it's again easy for people to go and find it. So yeah, again, that one didn't really surprise me either, because I would say that I am part of that, percentage that isn't super satisfied with how our online store produces, but also I fully recognize that we haven't put a ton of effort into it, and it is almost its own business in and of itself, right? So I would definitely recommend, again, having someone on your team, whether it's you or salon support, whatever it is, that is managing that, because it is, again, like a pretty I think people think, again, you just upload it, you're good to go kind of thing, but it is something that needs to be updated frequently and marketed and promoted and all of these different things. So
Makes sense. Here's a stat that came through that I was very pleasantly surprised with. There's two things we'll look at here: is maximizing online booking and loyalty programs. So online booking, we saw 67% of salons said that they had an online booking platform that they were utilizing, which is fantastic. We've been talking for years that this is something that you should be offering, because consumers want that convenience, and it's an expectation that they can do things directly from their phone or their laptop, wherever they are on the go. So it's great to see that they are more and more salons are utilizing this tool. For loyalty programs, we identified 26% of salons claimed that they are offering some kind of loyalty points program for their customers. Still a little bit low. If you think about outside industries, loyalty programs are everywhere, right? From like almost every single restaurant, grocery stores, drug stores, clothing stores, hardware stores, the works. They're out there everywhere. So for there still to only be about 26% of salons using loyalty points programs, we're definitely behind. And again, it's one of those consumer expectations now. And I continue to preach huge opportunity for you, especially if only 25% of salons are doing it. If you're offering it, it provides you with a competitive advantage that consumers want. So definitely consider looking into loyalty programs. It's one of the first tools that we launched, Salon S.O.S, when we started 8 years ago, and highly encourage you to check that out. Ask us if you have any questions about loyalty. We are definitely industry experts around that.
yeah. So another stat that was very interesting to me was in regards to marketing communication and data utilization. So despite having contact information for 75% of clients, so this is phone numbers, email, everything like that, and only 15% actually capitalize on communicating through these ways. So that would look like email marketing or text marketing or whatever it is. So again, this doesn't really surprise me, because I do feel like I am part of that percentage. And with, again, online booking and different point of sale systems, it's like you have all of this information. You can see when somebody was in last, you can see when their birthday is, you can see all of these different things. But I think the problem lies in content creation around that. Like, what are you sending them via email? Like, what's interesting enough to open in an email newsletter or send in a text message marketing, right? So again, that one didn't really surprise me, but it also, again, kind of got the brain working and thinking like that is definitely something that I think I need to take advantage of more in my salon, because again, the information's all there, and that other salons should definitely be hopping on, because like you said, even with loyalty programs, other industries are doing this all the time. I'm sure your email inbox is full of different promotional things from clothing stores, restaurants, all of these different things. And again, for some reason, it's just kind of a void in the salon industry. So yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, I think it comes from a fear in our industry of being salesy. And it's like, oh, I don't want to be spammy with my customers. Sending them an email or a text message between visits does not have to be salesy and spammy. So but you have the contact information. You want to be nurturing that relationship between visits. There's many ways that you can do that. Business updates, a nice newsletter. What's happening in your in your company. So don't think of it as emails as only about sending them like sale offers that's spammy. You really want to make it a relationship nurturing opportunity. All right, so the last category that we asked about was digital challenges. What are some common digital challenges? And the most common item that came about was time constraints and content creation. Those were the two biggest challenges cited as it relates to digital marketing for salons and salon professionals. I'm sure that's not a surprise to anybody out there listening. We also asked about learning opportunities and where do you look for your learning opportunities. Everybody, wants education. We found that 29% of salon professionals indicated that they do listen to industry podcasts. Hopefully all of them listening to this particular one, the Salon Scoop. And 38% said that they look for advice around their business on YouTube, which is a great, great resource. So if you're not already looking for educational opportunities through these channels, podcasts and YouTube videos are a huge opportunity. We have a completely free digital marketing academy on our website. You can find it easily, www.salonsos.ca. Click on Digital Marketing Academy, and you'll have an entire resource full of podcasts, YouTube videos that you can search through, blog articles. Our goal is to put out just as much content, resources, strategies, advice as possible. We are here to support the industry in every way possible. We hope that you take advantage of all these free resources that are out there. It's free, right? And in today's digital age, I think that's such a critical factor is for us to take advantage of that. We understand time constraints is there for everyone, ourselves included. So sometimes we don't have the time, to go, or we don't take the time to go and look for these things. But if you want some quick tips, go and find a resource that you trust. And if you're already listening to our podcast, I think you'll love some of the other resources that we have available for you. We would love to have you part of our community. And if you ever have any questions, want some advice, we are always here to answer your questions free of charge, strategy session, consultation call. It's an absolute pleasure for us to be able to be a resource in every way that we can. Hope you gained some insights from these stats that we shared with you today, that you can kind of benchmark a little bit about where you are on these categories based on your current activity, and that hopefully it motivates you to maybe take that extra step to, implement some of these actions and these ideas to really step ahead of your competitors and take advantage of that opportunity, so that comparison is not the thief of joy, but comparison helps you propel yourself to greater joy and success. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thanks for listening to this episode. We look forward to catching up with you on our next Digital Debrief. Thank you so much for listening to the Salon Scoop podcast. This show is produced by Salon S.O.S, a digital marketing agency by industry professionals for industry professionals. If you want simple and affordable solutions for any of your salon marketing needs, such as websites, client loyalty, Google search rankings, social media, or more, come visit us at salonsos.ca or on Instagram at salon.s.o.s. If you want to hear more episodes like this and help us continue to bring the industry great content, it would mean so much to us if you would support us in one of the following ways. Either share this episode with one other industry professional, and rate the show on Spotify, or write us a quick review on Apple Music. We want to hear your feedback. If you have follow-up questions or ideas for future episodes, please reach out. DM us on Instagram at salonus.s.o.s, or hit us up on our website again at salonsos.ca. Again, thanks so much for listening. Now go get your hustle on, keep smiling, and we'll catch you on our next episode.